What's with the Versace's?
What's with the Versace's? You don't like the Versace's? Don't they look good?
Mm.
Well, let me explain something to you. Behind me is my father's acting pictures that Deb was focusing in on. And today, we have a very famous actor. And I'm wearing Versace's because his acting light shines very brightly on him. So I'm wearing these cool sunglasses. Hey folks, my guest today, forget about it, is a Golden Globe twice, an Oscar-nominated actor. One of the best in the business, been around since the 1970s. And I'm going to steal a line from another legendary actor who's a very good friend of his. Eric Roberts is the fucking man, is what Mickey Rourke said at the Spirit Awards a couple years ago. And folks, I told you I was going to bring you big names on the Bad Brad Berkowitz Show. Forget about it. My guest today is the one, the only, Eric Roberts. All right. Well, first of all, both of you, welcome to the show. I greatly appreciate you coming on.
Thank you, and good morning.
Yeah, good morning for you. Good morning for you. Let's start out talking a little bit about COVID, about the election. Want to get both of your thoughts. I don't edit, so whatever we say is what we say. All right, I don't take anything out of context or anything like that. First of all, for both of you, how have you been coping out there with the pandemic?
Mrs. Roberts.
We, at the very beginning, we just did exactly what we were told, sheltering at home, really, really careful. Packages, all of that. Really, you're getting into promoting ways that people could afford to take care of their health, because both had to be factored in 100%. And so we did a lot of research. We decided who we really trusted to listen to, doctors we know personally, doctors who are out there. And then, work started, and it's been very interesting because we've been on all kinds of sets, independent, network, small skeletal crews, much bigger crews, and it's fascinating, the differences. It's a whole different story. I mean, if you are doing a role that is 2 days, suddenly it's 2 weeks because of quarantine and testing and retesting and just how long everything takes, and it's very, very different. But we totally support the effort. I mean, we're trying to win a battle against a microscopic organism that's really got its act together.
You're being, and I love hearing that because you're being part of the solution, not the problem.
Yeah.
As we've seen, you have insanity with this. People don't want to wear a mask. They want to go in stores that say, we'll bring you a mask if you don't have one. We'll shop for you. You guys, can you hear me? You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're seeing a lot of insanity with this is my right not to wear a mask. Well, it's our right to want to live and not add to the problem and be part of the solution. So I commend you for that. Eric, Twitter in particular. I've interviewed recently Marielle Trump, the niece of the madman in the White House, who I got a lot of respect for. Not him, but for her.
What a fun book to read, huh?
What a book. What a book.
Yeah.
Anthony Scaramucci, who's changed his position and come to our side and saw the light, and other people as well. And I commend people, and I'm commending you, Eric, and I commend you too, Eliza, that you use your platform, because you don't have to, and sometimes it's at the detriment, I do it, it could be at the detriment of maybe getting an acting job with someone say, I don't like your beliefs, but I look at it as a bigger picture, that we're part of humanity first, and then all of this other stuff comes into play.
There we go.
That's the way I look at it. But I commend you that you use your platform. I saw you retweet something that Chad Lowe said about basically his followers, which I'm going to call like it is insanity. I mean, they make Jim Jones from Guyana look like a choir boy with the way they follow this guy. But what I wanted to ask you is, January 20th, 2017, he gives the weirdest inauguration speech that I think any of us have ever seen in our lifetimes and probably will ever see. Did you think that day to now that the insanity would be as bad as it has become?
I had no way of knowing. But you know, the only reason I will answer your question to talk politics is because I don't think he wanted to be president any more than I wanted him to be president. So it was a lose-lose situation. He didn't want to be president, and we didn't want him to be president, and he became president, and he's been miserable ever since, as his behavior has proven. And it's a hard job. It's not a job he wanted. It's not a job he wants, or a job he is pursuing how to do well. So hence we have what we have. We have a pandemic that's becoming epidemic. It's awful, and it's the real deal. And we have to all be grown-ups about it, and all behave, and all go by the rules. And we have to set our own rules, since there is no guideline, except it's starting to of course be one on its own. But you know, masks and social distancing, and be smart, stay with your peeps, blah blah blah, get tested, etc. But you know, we had to learn as we went, because we had no leader.
Okay.
May I offer something?
Did I answer your question?
You did. That's fair. Go ahead, Eliza.
You know, when Eric says he didn't want to be president, it's like many actors. They want the accoutrement. They want the power. They want the money. They want the stardom. They want the freedoms and the perks and, you know, the merch and all that stuff. But they don't actually want the job. And often they don't know anything about the job. His way of doing it is just he hasn't done it. So, but he does not want to let go of that power. He has no intention of letting go of that power. It's very, very scary. In terms of the use of the platform, yeah, we get sad sometimes, because we'll have people we love who say, why are you doing that? We love you as actors. Who cares what you think about anything? But the thing is, you have a voice, and so you have responsibility to that voice. You look at Mark Ruffalo, Ken Olin, Chad, you. It's incredibly moving that people are, it doesn't matter if they're known or not, that people are expressing themselves. There's passion and there's caring there. There's also some answers and some really good advice. And the people that we love the most are the converts. You mentioned Scaramucci, the Lincoln Project. I mean, that's what's really important. People who recognize they made a mistake. They believed some stuff that wasn't true, and now they're willing to put themselves on the line to make a change in the correct direction. That means so much. And
with their families, with their parties, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
But you said the most important thing in terms of the virus, and just in terms of general policy and the way we behave as people. You don't put other people in a position to suffer. You just don't do that. Right. If there's even the possibility that your actions are going to cause suffering for your own children or someone else's children, you don't do it.
Right.
So these super spreaders with the no masks, wow, it's so criminal. It's so unkind. It's just astonishing.
It is. We're live, folks. So this is the part of it that's a little bit of a reality part. I don't think it's on my end, but I'm looking. I think on your end, there's a little black speck.
Yeah.
And I know people are going to say the fly landed from
Yeah. Okay, where is it? We're tiny right now. So where is it? It's on the camera.
I'm looking at it now. It's actually, I think that would be your right part of your eyeglasses.
Mine? Okay, so let's see if I can just get it to where it's like on the wall. Is that better?
It turns a little bit more because I don't want it on you. I'd rather be on the wall.
Okay. Now it's better?
I'm glad that you knew that, because you'd be like, oh, no, it came back. Now it's dead center in your eyes.
Oh, it is? Okay, God. Okay, let's see what we should do here. Maybe if we do a little of, now where is it? Oh, I see where it is. Now I can see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I love it. No, it's still there. It's up. It's moving. Okay. It's moving. Now it's on the couch.
It's on the couch.
Okay. Yeah, leave it there. Folks, that's not the fly that landed on Pence's head. Just so you know, I say it's not that fly. Okay. Eric, when we did our interview many years ago. We covered a lot of ground on that, and there were certain things that resonated with me because you were so brutally honest, and I commend you for it. One fact is Eric and I both share the same birthday, April 18th. So that's pretty cool. But I want to bring up somebody. Did you guys watch the DNC when they had it?
Oh, he did.
I did, of course.
I kind of can't take it, but
Okay,
yeah.
I hear you. Well, then for Eric, you remember the young man Braden Harrington, right?
Yes,
Had
of
the
course.
stutter. Okay. When I interviewed you and I asked you about growing up in the South, I didn't know that going into the interview. You talked about stuttering, and you said your father, I believe it was your dad, you were memorizing dialogue to help you get past the stutter, and it became a way of life for you. So being someone in today's society, Trump does a lot. He's not the only one. I can't just put it on him. But in society, they make fun of people more so than ever before, and he amplifies it. But I'm not just putting it on him. Other people do it too. When I was thinking about doing this interview, I remember you talked about that. When you saw young Bradenton and Joe Biden showing compassion, forget the politics, the political side of it, but showing compassion as a human being and being someone that did suffer from it when you were a child, how did that touch you?
I cried then. I could cry now. I will always cry at the beauty of the understanding.
Right.
We'll always love him for it.
Right.
Moment. Not as a politician, just as a human being.
Right.
And as a politician, he ain't too bad.
Okay, good. Other than that, politics, I don't want to keep you on it too long. Both of you answer just a few. Message, and if we took Democrat and Republican out of the equation, what would be your message? I know that you both are for voting. Get out and vote. It's our civic duty. But what would be your message to the people out there watching now about voting?
It's very simple. All you have to do is care. Once you care, you're invested. And if you care, we have everything here. We have everything. Be a part of it. And to be a part of it is to vote.
Okay. And
Yeah, I think what I would say is, because a lot of energy has been put into getting people to mistrust the system and to denigrate the system. And, it's a manipulation, obviously. But the truth is there are many systems, judicial, social services. Many systems are extremely flawed and they don't work that well. And, the electoral college, so what I would say is engage and participate in the system, speak your mind and identify yourself there, while also working actively with others on new systems that are better. Okay. You don't have to just give up. In fact, you should do exactly the opposite. You should believe and also improve. And that's what I would say.
It was Thomas Jefferson who said we should have a revolution every 3 or 4 years. Come on. Okay.
I'm going to ask you another question I didn't even have, but since you talked about institutions, I'm curious, both of you, if you would. Supreme Court, whether it's liberal, whether it's conservatives, I know you probably loved RBG like I did, yes. And do still mass respect for, God rest his soul. But do you think in 2020, going in shortly to 2021, that the Supreme Court should no longer, whether it's liberal or conservative, be for life? And before you answer, if I add a little bit of insight from my side, I don't, because I feel that when we get in there, if you're in your 40s, I think Amy Cohen Barrett, maybe 50, maybe she's a couple of years younger than me, we're pretty much at that point set in our ways. So if you go on the court for 20, 30 years, the world, as Eric said, revolution changes around us. And we don't always change because we become set, even if we don't realize it sometimes as humans, that we become set in our ways. Even RBG, who we all adore, she was in her 80s. There were some things that she was set in her ways, but the world changed around some of the justices. Do you think, both of you, do you think the Supreme Court should be for life or for a lesser amount of time?
What do you think?
I think it should be for life.
And
Okay.
I love the wisdom of just experience after experience, day after day after day of doing that has to be an advantage to running out of time with it.
Okay.
and I don't think it should be for life for exactly the reason you're talking about. I think there should be reviews. I don't think it should be mandatory to leave, but I think there should be reviews that have to do with relevancy, prejudices. You just can't have dinosaurs if there's just no space for them.
Okay.
And the truth is, there have to be reviews. You're right that people are set in their ways, but also things happen with our brains, and a person can become really a problem within a system at a certain point, and you have to kind of be accountable. So I think there should be reviews. I think they should be sophisticated, intelligent reviews.
Okay.
But I'm sorry. I think you have to take things a little bit more a step at a time.
Okay. Let's segue into some movie stuff. I want to read a quote from our last interview, Eric. And this quote says, "To sum it up, in my opinion, it's about a matter of fact, but it's an opinion about a matter of fact. Artists aren't running the show anymore. Lawyers are. Lawyers know as much about the movie making as they do about kindness." Now, that was 7 years ago.
Wow.
You said that. Has it changed?
Oh, God. Well, it's evolved a little bit, but it's in that avenue still. It's progressed where we're in like worse shape now. There is no film anymore. Only 5 directors shoot on film. We all know who they are. And everybody else are on HD. It looks like a home movie. And our actors are not trained anymore. They're not ready to act anymore. They're just out there reciting dialogue. And it's very sad. And it's very boring. And it's uninspiring. And thank God we still have Quentin Tarantino. I mean, it's really hard out there, dude. And we're all paying the price with being bored.
Okay.
They feel that way. And it's because of lawyers. It's because artists stop running Hollywood, lawyers run Hollywood, and there we have it.
Well, lawyers, and I think it's even evolved from there, because now it's money, and so then it's about followers. So the first thing you want is guarantee in a situation where there is none. You cannot have a guarantee of a success, of a breakout hit.
Right.
You just can't know. And so people are thinking, well, if we cast a bunch of people who have 3 million Instagram followers, then we're guaranteed success. And even though they found out that that's not true over and over and over, they're still doing it.
Yeah, they are.
And the people it's cutting out are people that we would love to hear from. And it's just, it's fear-based, and it's unfortunate.
Okay. I would be remiss if I didn't bring up, and I've watched a bunch of recent interviews with you. I got a kick out of the interview with, I think the guy, is his name Ron from England, you did recently, guys with a car. Cool mask that you had that went down.
Yes.
Really, really cool. I was thinking I Dream of Jeannie. That's what it kind of looked like that Barbara used to wear. So props.
Thank you.
I have to ask you, one of my favorite movies, Pope of Greenwich Village. But I'm going to go a little different. And I don't know if you've ever been asked this question before, because I know they said, do the thing about you. You know, they took my thumb, Charlie, all that. I've been on record, folks. I said it. Eric and Mickey should have, at a minimum, be nominated for an Oscar. That movie was just fantastic. If you haven't seen Pope of Greenwich Village. But what I want to go in a little different direction, Eric. Say it's 2020, because you remember, I know you remember, you walked off, and I think the credits played, and Summer Wind was playing by Frank Sinatra. You're walking down the street. Well, it's 2020, or going into 2021, and Charlie, Mickey Rourke, and Paulie, your character, are in today's times. If you got called and they said, Eric, help us do a treatment, folks, a treatment, a script, as you know, a treatment for a modern day sequel to the Pope of Greenwich Village. What do you think Charlie and Paulie would be today?
I don't have an answer for that, but I know this. because Mickey looks so different. We have to deal with that right away. So we have to start with the fact of him getting badly injured or something, or badly beaten up to his face right away, the opening scene, bada boom. So that's done. So we don't have any more explaining of anything, how anybody looks ever again.
Right.
Explained. And but then we have to have a story. We have to have a caper. We have to have an almost success, a moderate success, but a slight failure, because that's what they are. They are not winners, but they are lovely, lovely, lovable losers. So we have to ingratiate them. We have to put them in something that is dangerous and fun to watch.
Okay.
Because they're great characters. I mean, Mickey played the coolest guy on the planet, and I played everybody's bad cousin. I mean, literally. And so, you know.
Well, I'm going to tell you something, and I know people, they ask me, you got to ask me. I said, I asked them, and we broke it down in the other interview, but I said, let me think of something to go in a different direction with that. Well, I watched the scene again on YouTube when you come in and you say, you're hitting a heavy bag, and I'm a boxing guy for years and years and years and been around the sport. So when you hit the bag, you know, you got to, you know, hit them like this and do the whole scene. And when Mickey wants to kill Bedbug-Eddie, played by Burt Young, I'm not going to lie. I cry every time in that scene because it's so emotional. And wherever you went to get there, you showed your acting chops. And I mean, you've been great in a lot of movies, and don't get me wrong. But this particular film, for people that I know, has resonated. It's and I heard you tell Rob, you said Rob, right? That when you go through the airport, they're always yelling the line and all that. When you put a piece of work out there, and that came out in '84, I probably started shooting maybe in '83, so 36, 37 years ago, and it still holds up. I don't care what it did box office. I'm talking about still holds up today that people talk about it. That's got to be a good feeling.
It is the best feeling there is, except a marriage that holds up. That's the only thing that's really the equivalent of that kind of, oh my God, I did that. It's a wonderful feeling.
You know, we're on Cameo, and Eric gets requests. So many people, the reason they're requesting a message from him or a message from him for a friend is because of Pope.
Yeah.
That's just incredible. I mean, that makes you feel kind of, you think, who's that happened for? The Beatles. I mean, there's not that many people. Shakespeare. It really, well, I mean, I'm not comparing the magnitude.
Holly Chiboni, William Shakespeare, which one?
You did go see Tony Bennett, though. For which, yeah, front row there, two rows back, or whatever the line was.
Away from Tony Bennett, that's success.
Now I want to make sure that his name was Rob, not Ron, because now I'm driving myself crazy. We fell in love with that guy. He was so cool. I'm glad that you watched that interview. It's comfy, just like it's comfy with you. It's just really comfy talking to him. That was cool.
If anything out of COVID came a positive, where I'm at in my office is my studio office. I was doing interviews in here. But what this has done for me is open it up. Like this weekend, I don't want to say the name yet because I haven't released the press release, but I got a 80s artist, a music artist that was big, and he's in Australia, so 16 hours ahead of me in Indiana. Zoom has opened up the world now to all of us, and I think it's a great thing. Another movie we didn't talk about when we did our interview several years ago that I loved that you did, and I want to get your insights on it, good or bad. It's My Party.
Oh.
I thought that was a fantastic movie. I got it on VHS, so you know how long ago I first bought it. Gregory Harrison, right, was with you. But basically an all-star cast. George Segal was in it.
Lee Grant.
Lovely Grant. Loved her in Shampoo.
Yeah.
What was it like on It's My Party?
Well, it was one of the three most difficult jobs as an actor I've ever undertaken. And I was scared to death every day, as I am when I'm not sure. And I'm very honest with myself and my relationship to my work. I'm very honest about how am I doing with this today? How am I doing with this at this moment? How am I doing? And I was scared all the time in that portrayal. And I was scared because it was delicate. and it was easy to break. And I'm a guy, if it can be broken, I will break it. And yeah, couldn't break that one. Could not break it. And was scared all the time. I'm going to crack it. I'm going to crack it. But you know what? You know what saved me for me was Gregory Harrison, because that role was thankless.
Mhm.
That role was hard. That role is the only role I've ever been on screen with that's been harder than what I was playing. That was hard.
Right.
And he played it perfectly, which made me have to address him perfectly, which made me not crack, which made me not push too hard ever. I owe him that. And I've never told him that. I've insinuated that to him when I said, "Hey, pal, how you doing?" We see each other's screenings or what have you. But he doesn't know that really. But that's a fact.
That's good.
And I'm not a humble guy. Don't get me wrong. He earned that. I mean, he's magnificent in that role. Watch that movie and watch him in that movie. What he does is hard to do, and he does it well.
Great movie. I don't think you get it. I wanted to bring it up because I don't know how often you get asked about it, but it's a fantastic movie. I mean,
thank you, brother. I love
must watch.
Yeah.
Looking down IMDb, and I saw when you talked about the different projects and all that, and that you're taking a lot of roles. A lot of people aren't getting out yet and doing it, but you're brave and you're doing it. Let's bring the viewers up to date, because you probably, as Eliza said, you probably got 20, 30 things, pre-production, post. I mean, just you go to his IMDb page, and you're going to see all kinds of stuff. Can you throw a couple projects out that you're currently working on that you're allowed to?
Well, the one I can talk about that I enjoy talking about is Stalked by My Doctor Part 5. That's coming out, and it's going to be killer. And I always crack up when I hear myself say the title, Stalked by My Doctor, because it's bad. In fact, when they offered it to me, I said, I will do it if you'll change the title. And they said, no, we're stuck with the title. I said, I can't play Stalked by My Doctor. And they said, no, we have to do that title, because we're going to do 2 of them, we hope. We're up to number 5. So they're
Okay.
best.
You did a hilarious, when I was doing some new research, a couple years ago you did, what is it called? You played Michael Cohen. You did the lawyer thing. What is that called?
You know, not that you know, that's really famous comedy.
Yeah, I can't think of it. That was hilarious. I like when you said like,
Funny or Die. Funny or Die.
There it is. And you do, can you make the bookcase come back for the green screen and make me look smart? I'm wondering, have you ever run into Michael Cohen after that by chance in New York or somewhere?
I have not, but I hope to. I really do. I'm a fan of what he's gone through and survived. It's a big deal, buddy.
Okay.
And it's still ongoing. I mean, come on. It's not over till it's over, and it's not over for a while.
Okay.
That was once he began, you know, because he was known, but not like as known as he got when Eric did that. So it felt a little risky to do it. And then when everything started exploding, we're like, oh my God, people are going to be digging this up. What's going to happen to you? I thought we should get security or something. I thought you were him. But you know, I also have some empathy for the guy. I just think if you're in that toxic place, you know, God knows what kind of threats were made to all those people. Right. I mean, who the hell knows?
Mary Ellen and Trump talked a little about it. I didn't want her to go on record, but I subliminally, I said, I know what you're going through. I worked in intelligence in the military. I know what they're going through. And I know what this guy is capable of doing and using institutions that are not there to be his policemen. And we will leave it at that.
Exactly.
Did you read Disloyal? Did you read his book?
Of course I did.
Yeah. I just reviewed it, and I started out the review that nobody talks worse about Michael Cohen than Michael Cohen in that book.
Exactly.
Look, I'm not a fan of what he did, and if you believe, then we all get judged. If that's how it does work, we all have our sins. I'm not minimizing what he did, because he did ruin a lot of people, and that was a terrible thing. However, you have to give him credit in the sense that he acknowledged that it was a cult. He went to prison, okay? Trump tried to put him back in prison illegally.
Yeah.
And couldn't do it. He got out. He put it all in a book. I know, oh, he did it for money and all that. Still, he's got a family. He's got a wife. And I gave props to his daughter, Samantha, who he talks about, because Samantha from day one said, I don't like Donald Trump, period. And not to segue back into politics, but I got to tell you one thing, Eric, and I know you've probably seen him, and Eliza, I know you've seen him. I was looking at some Mickey stuff as well before we went into the interview. And I forgot like 2 years ago that Mickey said, if you weren't president, I'm going to kick your ass. And when you're not president, I am going to kick your ass for what you said about Tupac and I. And he said, look, I destroyed that hotel room, but it was about $6,000 or $7,000. And you try to sue me for $28,000. And you said all of these messed up things about me, Tupac and I. So when I see you, and you know, Mickey boxes, we know, Mickey, the reporter kind of let him into it and said, you can hit him with a left hook. And Mickey said, you know I am. So I had to laugh at that.
Of course.
And I also enjoyed, Eric, when you did The Immortals, because we know the beautiful things that he said when he said, accept your award at the Spirit Award, when he said what he did. And he moved both of you, and we talked about it. I can't believe it's been that long ago. We talked about that 7 years ago in our first interview. But I also admired your loyalty and friendship with him when you said what you did at the Immortals, at the opening or whatever it was. The love between the two of them, there's you know, two different people, two different personalities, but brothers nonetheless.
Well, don't get me wrong. I think I told Esquire or somebody this, you know, he made me more miserable than anybody I've ever liked in my life. So don't get me wrong. I mean, we're not perfect,
right?
But I do think he is one of the most unsung, incredible, perfect actors who's ever walked the planet. Okay. And I will always say that. I mean, what's that? Oh yeah, Barfly. Oh my God. Oh, where'd that come from, dude? Oh my God, it's a miracle, that movie, that performance. And he's got 3 or 4 of those.
Yes, he does.
He's incredible. And I just dig his act.
He also has a very big heart. He's a very, very, very sensitive person. And, you know, he's pure artist and, you know, exhausting, but a huge heart.
He is with the girls.
No, Eric Moore. No, he's really nice. He's really, we have a few, he kind of melts you. Okay. So it's not just, it has nothing to do with being a girl. Gosh. Okay. Anyway, go ahead.
Okay. Before we segue into some really random fun questions for both of you are so big, and I admire you so much for it. You're very big on charities for animals, especially animals. Let's talk about that. I want you to get some of the organizations you're out there for.
Like Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, Mickey too.
Yeah, I know. When he started crying about Loki, I cried.
Yeah.
I'm up on the stage with him.
That's me, I know.
Yeah. Talk about your charity work so the viewers will know more about that, about some of the organizations.
Okay, there are 2 organizations called Precious Paws. I mean, I guess it's an obvious name, but it's a wonderful name. One is in Nashville, Tennessee. The other one is here in Los Angeles. One is run by Christine Ved. That's the one in Nashville. One's run by Georgine Lalone, who used to work. She was my casting associate. And then she ran a bunch of shows, and she left the business to go broke and work full-time with animals. I mean, that's just amazing. Christine Ved and Precious Paws in Tennessee is a miracle. Keaton Simons, you know, my son, and Hannah, his wife, a mama cat showed up at their place in Nashville and decided to bring her kittens over, and, you know, trying to capture them and get everybody checked out and all fixed so you don't have thousands more unwanted animals was quite a trick. And right during the pandemic, when all the clinics were saying, we were sorry, we can't help you, Christine showed up with her daughter. I mean, physically showed up and took care of it. Trained Keaton and Hannah how to do everything, did it all with the cats. She's just amazing. And these organizations, it isn't like the big ones. It's not like PETA and stuff where a lot of people, they want their name on the board of directors. They want their name on the stationery. They already have plenty of funds and resources. We're talking about people who are out of pocket. They're doing it on their own completely.
Literally.
And, just amazing. Anybody that you can give to, best friends, anybody that you can give time or energy or, but again, it comes down to kindness. If you see an animal in need, fill the need.
But if you have an itch, precious pause.
Okay.
Yeah, just pause. But they're Facebook and you can find them everywhere. But it's animals. I mean, I was going to jump up during the movie part to go and rescue insects out of the pool, but I have other people here who are going to do that. I mean, anything that has a survival instinct deserves our love and care.
Absolutely. We have two fur babies. We got a Havanese, a little boy.
Oh, cute.
Whose name is Santino Corleone Berkwood, obviously after the Godfather.
Of course.
We got our Schnorky, half Schnauzer, half Yorkie. If we would have got her first, if we would have got Santino first, she would have been Connie from the Godfather, but she's Bella Dawn. She's got my initials. I'm Bradley Daniel Berkwood. She's Bella Dawn Berkwood. Debbie named Bella after that. So when you say animals, that's a soft spot. I wish humans would be more like animals are with the compassion. Now in the Roberts household, what do we got? What type of animals we got? How many?
We got 5 cats. We got 300 squirrels who stay outside most of the time.
Most of the time.
We have a squirrel sanctuary, and we've got a family of raccoons who come and go all depending on the time of year, and we have a possum family that when it's cold we find them under the kitchen couch.
Okay.
And a couple of dogs at the daughter's house across the street, and is that all for the time?
For the moment, that's it. I mean, everybody knows they can bring their animals here. We'll babysit, we'll foster, and we have a feeding station, a wild animal feeding station here because we don't want them to be hungry or not be able to feed their young. And when people talk about them being destructive, they're just looking for food. I mean, they're just trying to survive. And there's a really easy solution: feed them.
Right.
And they're not going to mess with your garbage. They're not going to, mess with your animals. But I think that our raccoons and opossums think that the cats feed them because they look expectantly at the cats.
That's hilarious.
Thing ever. Okay. So I think they're all friends and they're pretty amazing. We feel very we're very grateful.
They all intermingle. Yeah.
There you go. Now, when we did the interview many years ago, I think it was your daughter Eliza had the pie shop. Was it a bake shop or something?
Yes.
Like that? Is that still around?
Yeah, well, she now has a baby human who loves animals, of course, by the way. So she has a 1.5-year-old baby, she and her wife, and she still has Pie Bake Shop, PI, but now she's also has a company called Gray's LA, and she's catering movies. It's very different with COVID because now everything has to be prepackaged. Yeah. So there's no buffet style anymore. It's a whole being COVID safe with food is a big thing, and she's the master at it. So yeah, and her daughter is just starting to help cook, which means get in the way, mess everything up, just like she's supposed to, because that's our age.
Well, that's good here because that was 7 years ago. So to keep a business, God bless her. Good for her. Good.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's cool. Before we segue into the last part of the interview, give the viewers Eric's the website. What's your website address?
Okay, it's ericrobertsactor.com.
Okay.
And then he's at Eric Roberts on both Instagram and Twitter. I think he might be at Eric Roberts Actor on one of them. He's verified on Twitter.
Yes.
He's miraculously not verified on Instagram. Nobody can get over that, but who can get verified on Instagram? So whatever. I mean, that's fine.
Tell them you know Cardi B. You'll get like that.
Exactly. Yeah, you'd think. I mean, he does know. Look, he knows Emma and Julia. He's related to them.
There you go.
No. But there's a lot of fake Eric Robertses. There's a lot of fake Keaton Simonses. To me, that's just a compliment. I mean, it's like why go crazy over that? It's totally fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last part, I'm going to ask each of you. There's no right or wrong answers. They're fun questions. Whatever you come up with, that's what we rock and roll with. We'll start, ladies first.
Thank you.
Favorite genre of movies?
Yeah.
Romantic comedies.
Romantic comedies.
Chick flicks all the way.
Yeah.
For sure.
Okay. Same for you, Eric?
Westerns, political thrillers, horror movies.
Okay. All right, let's go back to Eliza for a minute. Do you have a favorite? I know this is hard to favorite one, but so maybe two. Favorite chick flicks, two.
Something's Gotta Give and Heartburn.
Okay. Good
Yeah.
one.
Well, there's a million of them, but there's two of them.
Okay. Eric, Western, what's your favorite Western?
Oh, wow. It's really hard. Gosh.
Purgatory.
Well, okay. Purgatory.
Okay. I thought you were gonna be, I thought because we had the same birthday, you might have said my favorite, which is Shane. Come back, Shane, Brandon D. Wild.
It's a good one.
Good one. Okay, you had said three, so that's Western. Political thriller.
3 Days of the Condor.
Oh, Robert Redford.
Her dad wrote it.
My father wrote it.
You know what? Segue for 1 second. I looked you up as well. I mean, I know that you acted and all that. We know about you in Animal House and done a lot of other stuff. But I looked up your parents, and when I clicked on Eric's Wikipedia, and it's got the link to your name. I clicked on it. I saw that both of your parents, did writing, or they were theatrical, or they were, in the business in some way, shape, or form.
Very much.
3 Days of Condor is a great movie with Robert Redford. Sadly, the news. His son just passed away the other day. Robert Redford's. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah, he was like 57, 58 years old. He passed away. So you said political and Western, and what was the other one that you said?
Horror movies.
Horror.
The Tingler.
Okay, now you got me on that one.
The Tingler with who's the guy who was on the Humphrey Bogart movies who talked like this?
Laurie.
Peter Lorre, The Tingler.
Okay, all right. I know who Eric's gonna say. Let's see if Mom says it too. Favorite singer?
Keaton Simons. You knew I'd say that.
Of course.
Keaton Simons.
Okay. Favorite musical band? Same. Is he?
Same.
Yeah, same. Okay.
Yeah.
Favorite female singer?
Well, Barbara Streisand.
Oh, my answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, look, it isn't her. It's not that her style of songs are necessarily, the style of songs would be more towards Janis Joplin or, Kelly McGrath or something. But that
Barbara
voice.
Streisand's voice stops traffic.
I mean, it's unreal. It's literally superhuman.
Yeah.
Okay, since you both love Barbara, off the paper for a second, do you have a favorite Barbara movie?
Oh, well, yeah. One, The Way We Were.
The Way We Were.
That's her life story. That's the little girl at the inn at the Plaza Hotel with Barbara Streisand, who is her mom, Lily Garrett, is Eliza Rayfield, Simons Roberts, as a little girl.
Garrett.
Oh, okay. Now I got to watch it again. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Great movie. Great song. Great song.
Redford.
Great song.
Robert Redford is David Rayfield.
Yep. Fantastic. Okay. I know it's going to be Keaton. Favorite song?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Which is your favorite song of Keaton's?
Well,
I have one, but let's hear it out.
I got a couple.
Okay.
Masterpiece and Currently.
Okay.
And Keaton has a song called Yet. And the best place to look for that, I mean, you can find it on Spotify and stuff.
I only didn't say yet because I knew she would. Yeah.
Okay.
Carlina Britch, who's an amazing dancer. You've seen her everywhere. She was Justin Bieber's lead dancer and stuff. She won So You Think You Can Dance, the Canada version. She's amazing. She did a dance to Yet, and she put
Is
it
that
on
the
YouTube.
one she's dancing on the bed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I looked it up.
God, you're amazing. Okay, so everybody should watch that. It's pretty cool.
Absolutely. Okay. Are either one of you car people? Do you like cars? Any vintage cars? Okay. Favorite car?
Favorite car.
1958 Corvette.
Ooh, sweet. Okay.
used to have one.
Did you used to have one?
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Eliza. Favorite noise or sound?
Oh, that's so funny. I mean, okay, first of all, obviously anything in Keaton's music, that goes without saying. Okay, but I do have noise and sound. I think the pouring of coffee into a coffee cup in the morning. I
Okay.
love that sound.
Okay. Eric,
That's
any
good
question?
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Cat purring and
Baby laughing, of course.
cat purring and tea steeping. That light noise that I know so well.
Okay. Back to you, Eliza. Least favorite noise or sound?
Baby crying. Can't handle it. Have to fix it immediately. Any animal in distress, including human. Yeah.
Scraping door, bad breaks.
Oh, God, yeah, me too. Can't stand that. Favorite food for Eliza? Favorite food?
Apples.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I love them.
What's the only thing I eat?
Oh, pizza. He loves pizza.
Pizza.
Well, being half Italian on my mother's side, forget about it.
Okay.
What type of pizza?
Oh, American.
Well, wait, but no, the type of pizza he really eats the most, it's whole wheat crust or cauliflower crust.
Okay.
And everything on it is vegan.
I saw him tweet something about that. I had a question, macaroni and cheese or mashed potatoes, and he said, as long as it's vegan. I saw that.
That's right, exactly.
Okay, but end this. What I mean.
But look. I'll be honest with you, since you're a wonderful guy.
There's a lot of people.
Is this? I am vegan when I am with her. I am not quite vegan when I'm not with her.
So if we were sitting at eating post-COVID, you wouldn't be vegan that day. So we could go get some good pizza.
If you needed help me to not be vegan, I would not be vegan for you.
Okay. So answer this question since you're a pizza guy. Chicago pizza, and remember I'm a New York guy, so Chicago pizza style or New York style, New York City style pizza, which one? Deep
dish in Chicago, regular pizza in New York.
Okay, but they put it to your head and you got to decide which one are you going to eat.
The big sloppy slices in New York.
I love you even more. Good for you. All right, back to you, Eliza.
Yes.
If you were to hit the lottery for the $400 million lottery, what would be the first thing you did?
Help. I would first of all, pay all debts, especially the ones that are to actual human beings, right? And then help. I just figure out a way to make sure that everybody had what they needed. Not that $400 million would do that, but we actually have a plan where all billionaires give $1 billion, and it's to make sure everybody has a home, has everything that they need. Food, can be clean, just, fix this whole situation, because the whole money thing has to change.
Okay.
So, but yeah, the first thing would be just to help.
Okay.
I fantasize about that all the time.
Okay. Pivot to you. What would you do, Eric? Same thing, pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much. I would get a new roof on the house first.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Back to Eliza. If you could meet one person from any time in history, who would you personally like to meet, and what would your first question be for them?
Well, I met one of them. I met JFK when I was a little girl. And so.
Yeah, there's a photograph of it.
Yeah. And I met JFK Jr., but he was only a teeny baby at the time, not even a toddler. I guess it would be, I guess it still would be Paul McCartney. And did you say what would the question be?
What would you ask him? If you had a chance to sit down with him, what would you ask him?
I would tell him that I almost met him when I was 10 years old. I was on my way there, but Don Hewitt's daughter, who I was going with, who was also a little girl, had a fever. And so Don and Frankie, the mom, said, "Oh, we'll do it another time." And I was like, "No, we won't. It's the Beatles." And of course, it's never happened. But I would hand him Keaton's music and stand there while he listened to it.
Okay. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is Don Hewitt the one that was the producer for 60 Minutes?
Yes, 100%.
That's right. Good catch, man.
He set it up. Yeah, you're amazing. God.
Great show, 60 Minutes. Okay, who would be the one person you'd like to meet in your question for him?
Thomas Jefferson, and I would ask him, did you really mean it, or was it just a try this on for size joke? Or like, did you really mean it? I'm just curious.
Okay.
And because I know he had humor. I know he had humor. And I know he would address it with humor, with intellectual humor, but with humor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to you, Eliza. If you could sum yourself up as a human being in 1 or 2 sentences, what would you say?
Somebody just said to me something like the strongest, nicest living hippie in Hollywood. And I just heard that this morning, which was interesting. If you could I would say I am obsessed with my kids, obsessed with all kids and animals.
2 sentences, not 2 days.
It's your answer. I only say 2 sentences because some people don't like to talk about themselves. And that's the problem. I want you, the more you give the viewers, the more they know about you.
I would say peacenik, kindness advocate, and scared of everything.
Okay.
Well, it's true.
Same for you, Eric.
Is it
Yourself up as a human being.
No, if I could sum myself up in 2 sentences, I would, but I can't. I've been asked this before. It just petrifies me, but I would ask her to, because I would love anything she'd say, because she'd make it sound really smart. So,
okay. So back to you. Go right ahead.
Okay, I would say afraid of nothing. We're opposites that way. Beautiful, because I think he's super cute. And that he is a little bit moody, a little bit melancholy, but if you see the way he treats anybody suffering hardship or anything with 4 legs, then you know there's a huge heart in there somewhere. That's what I would say.
Okay, beautiful.
Oh, and by the way, he's talented.
That's an understatement. He's immensely talented, and I don't say anything I don't mean.
Yeah.
So back to you, Eliza. You've done a lot of interviews over the years with Eric, without. You got a lot of stuff on YouTube people can watch where you've talked and you've been interviewed by yourself as well. Over all the years that you've been in the business, and I know now researching that your parents were in the business, is there one question that an interviewer never asked you that you wish that they had? And here's your, if there is, what is it and what's the answer?
Wow, that's such a great question. Oh my God, something I wish somebody had asked, because those things do exist, by the way. I guess that I wish somebody would have asked, what would you like to tell the truth about, but have been afraid to do it so far?
Oops.
And then I think, and the answer would be, there are many things.
Trouble.
And if I'm going to choose one at this very moment, it would be that I really do wish the world was sober. I really wish there was no cigarettes, no drugs, and no alcohol.
That's a drug.
That it just makes me really, really sad to see the kind of, and no guns, see that I kind of put those all in the same category. I think there's kind of no upside. Even if there appears to be an upside, really, the bottom line is there really isn't.
What was the question?
The question was, I'm going to go back. I want to ask you one thing, because I know the viewers will say you should have asked. I'm going to come back to you in 1 second here.
Okay.
Let me be like kind of devil's advocate on one thing that you said. I just want to get because they'd say, Brad, you should have followed up with a question, and I know what the question is going to be. The part where I agree with all of that, but the part that you said no guns, are you saying not even for like in your home for self-defense or to protect your family. You say no guns, no guns, which it's your stance?
Yeah, no guns, and I'll tell you why. Because you don't have to defend yourself from a gun if there are really no guns. So it has to be unilateral. So it can't be no guns for the good people who want to give up their guns, but the bad guys who are going to break into your home and shoot you still get to have one.
Okay.
No arms. Arms should be these.
Okay.
Armed forces should be these.
Okay.
These kind that deliver food, that help, that pull people out of ditches. If we just had no weapons, none. Just imagine. So yeah, once you're already, but what about for this or that?
Right.
Then you're having a world where there are some. We're talking about none. Use your word.
I just wanted to clear it up. I respect your opinion. That's
No, I love that.
I love that. I respect your opinion. Okay, so the question was, Eric, you've especially done interviews for years and years and years and years. Is there one question that nobody has ever asked you, and you said to yourself, you know, I wish somebody would have asked me this question? And if there is one, what's the answer?
I have never thought about this until right now. But something I always ask myself, especially if it's a big interview, is I say to myself, is there someplace I'd rather be? And half the time I have an answer. Yeah, I'd rather be in, Philadelphia or somewhere else. And half the time I say, no, I'm happy where I am. I'm right here talking about myself to this person. Okay. But yeah, to be asked, is there any place you'd rather be than right here? They never ask me that.
Okay.
And of course there is. Yeah, you bet there is. You bet there is. But they never ask me that.
Okay. One more fun question, and then we'll close out on my last one after that. Favorite pre-COVID, post-COVID, but we'll say pre. Eliza, favorite vacation destination?
Well, we do location instead of vacation, which we love because every location is a vacation.
Yeah.
But I would say there's one where we've never been, but it looked incredible. My daughter and her wife went there for their honeymoon, and it's one of the islands in the Caribbean or something. But since I can't remember where it is, Saint something or another, then I would say,
by chance? St. George? No.
Oh, maybe that's possible. Is there Saint one that starts with a B?
There may be.
Well, listen, I've loved every minute in Montreal and Vancouver. I've loved every minute in Italy, and I speak French, so I've loved every minute in France. I loved Barbados, although I don't like humidity and hot weather. I'm trying to think, but in a way, this is going to sound completely ridiculous. I think my favorite place on earth is Northern California.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's right there, but yeah, Northern California.
Okay. Same question, Eric. Favorite vacation destination?
The older I get, the more I love Southern California. I love Southern California, and I love Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. It's a small fishing village right in the middle of Nova Scotia. I love those two places. They're very extremely different, but like those two places, the best.
Okay. Back to Eliza, last question in the interview. Do you have a saying you live your life by?
Yes. When in doubt, give. That's my saying.
And you know what? I asked you this question when we did interview 7 years ago, and you're consistent because you gave the same answer.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so good. I love that.
I'm so proud of her.
Look at that. Same question to you.
Oh, God, I have no idea. An expression, a saying that I live my life by.
He used to have one, but I think it's changed. I'm going to tell you his used to one, and then it'll be wonderful because the change is so big. It used to be never cop. Remember you got that from Eddie Bunker?
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead. So what's it now?
Let it rip. I don't know.
I remembered yours, and I looked at Eric's, but I don't have it down here what he said. But I think it was real close what he said. I'll email you what he said and see how close. I think that's what he said because there was I didn't ask you this time, but in the interview we did 7 years ago, I asked Eric what was his favorite word, and I think it was something like swooze or something like that.
Swooze, yeah.
Right. And you said people from New Orleans, because I know you born in Mississippi but grew up in New Orleans, I think, if I remember correctly. And you said swooze, and do you remember what his least favorite word was?
No.
D.
It starts with a D?
Yeah. So part of the anatomy.
I understand. So is it Richard?
Yes, that would be, yes. Yeah, it's a clean version of it.
I remember that moment now. Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
It is
Yeah.
funny.
You didn't like that word. That wasn't a good word for the thing.
Yep.
Really funny.
So, hey, it was great talking to you guys. Thank you so much for doing this. In closing, is there anything else you'd like to get out that you'd like the viewers to know about?
You have been so lovely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, there's so much fun, and that's such a great opportunity. But we're gonna have to do it on the next interview, which cannot be 7 years from now.
No, it cannot be.
Yeah.
Because what was Marilyn? It was a 7-year itch, I think what was the movie?
Year
The dress blew up.
Yes.
It can't be 7 years. Because when I interviewed Eric last time, he specifically said, I'm enjoying my 50s. So we know that we both have gotten a little bit older. So yeah, it can't be another 7 years. We definitely have to stay in touch.
Yes.
Again, thank you so much for this interview. I love seeing you guys together. Everybody that interviews you says you're like the couple they all love. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. He's a great interview.
All right, folks. I told you I'd bring you big names. There's another big name. Eric Roberts. Oscar nominated, 2-time Golden Globe nominations. Okay? Been around since the 1970s. King of the Gypsies. Check it out. Another movie. Okay? It's My Party. Another great movie. And Charlie, they took my thumb. Hope of Greenwich Village. Him and Mickey Rourke should have gotten at least an Oscar nomination. This is the 3rd time going on record saying it. But hey, folks, that's another episode of the Bad Brad Berkowitz Show, and you can't forget about it. And remember, every act of kindness is a little love we leave behind. Bad Brad out.